I am ready, willing, and able. All right. Is everybody else ready?
Anybody need water before I start?
Yeah, we got waters up here. Let's pass those out. And then we'll give us about...
Hydrate! Thank you, sir.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Welcome, everybody. First, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Lamar?
Here.
Mr. Kubicki?
Here.
Ms. Hughes?
Here.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next, I make a motion to approve the signing of the meeting minutes, the regular meeting minutes of February 14th, 2023. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
Okay, we move on to open forum. Do we have anybody signing to speak at open forum?
I don't believe so. Do you have anything, Tom? Okay, no,
Okay.
I have nothing.
Then this is going to move really
I've got an
quickly.
FYI.
Go ahead. You
Okay.
go.
We had a unit come up for sale at Indian Hill Place and it was sold 2 days later.
That's awesome. Seems we're doing the same thing over at Seven Hills Club and everywhere else. We're hot.
Up for 2 days.
They got Madison Place is hot, Seven Hills Club's hot, Indian Hill Places. I mean, Williams Meadow doesn't have anything for sale. It's pretty impressive. So
Just
appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
That's always,
Yeah, absolutely.
we love good news, you know, I'll tell you that. So thank you.
That's great news.
Yes, that is fantastic news. Okay, next we move on to the fiscal officer's report with the one, the only Ms. Heekin.
February was the second month of our budget year and the middle of the first quarter. Our general fund ending balance is $3,074,472, which is a decrease of 5% from January. Restricted fund ending balance is $5,197,819, which is a decrease of 4.34% from January. These funds combined total $8,272,291, which is a decrease of a little less than 5% from January. Revenues for February were $52,593. Expenses were $451,476. Year-to-date revenues, $400,307. Expenses, $800,531. And our next semi-annual settlement will occur in April, so that will have some different numbers next meeting. The voter-approved levy revenues don't cover all of the township's public services. The business revenues cover more than 80% of the cost of public services in Columbia Township. And thanks to Columbia's success in attracting and supporting businesses, we're able to continue to provide our community with exceptional services at a lower cost, which is why everyone wants to buy a house here.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about the report? Okay, then we move on to the road superintendent's report, Mr. Frazier's report. Do we have any questions about the report or any comments?
I don't have any questions about the report, but always appreciate their hard work. And this is probably the best time to mention that Dustin, our road supervisor, was on a podcast yesterday. It's out, and it was really about NED, which is the neighborhood economic development money that we're spending in every neighborhood. And we had Jerry on talking about primarily about trees. And so Dustin and Jerry were on there talking about trees, and go ahead and take a listen.
They did a good job. They did a good job.
Yeah.
They both did.
And the only other thing I'll mention is just Dustin's worked hard working with Hamilton County as it relates to the temporary street closing over on Walton Creek. That's a county road. It's the county that's in charge of it, but he's been on it in terms of making sure that the traffic management issues going through some of the neighborhoods and working with Hamilton County. In fact, I even drove through that neighborhood just looking around. When I drove completely through, I thought, uh-oh, these guys are going to pull me over from going through the neighborhood. And they didn't, but whatever the case, I know that he's been all over it, and I know Melissa has too, working closely with the county on addressing those issues, because it is an inconvenience for people that live in my part of the community, Columbia G is what I call it, the Worcester Pike Corridor, Plainville area, etc. But it'll be good soon, and it's a great project, and we're excited about it finishing. So all good for the most part.
I'll say I went over there a couple times also. I saw Dustin, I saw Rob, and I saw Rob spraying down, cleaning the streets, personally doing it. And a resident said it's the cleanest he's ever seen the street.
Yeah. So those guys are all over it, and again, those are county roads, but they take a particular interest just making sure that the best interest of the township and the quality of life, as I always say, and the traffic patterns are all flowing smoothly, so thanks to them. Okay, that we move on to the administrator's report. We don't have Ms. Taylor, but we have
Yeah.
Ms. Lauren Allison, our franchise quarterback is here, as we call her in our podcast.
Not that.
Yes.
So Melissa is
Rookie
out.
of the year, prospect for the future. Go
Melissa
ahead.
had to be out today, but if anybody would like a copy of her administrative report, we'd be more than happy to get it for you. But I will say that we want to give a special thank you to everybody who came out for the St. Patrick's Day event on Saturday. I know it was probably a little chilly, but it went fantastic and everybody seemed to be having a good time. So thank you for that.
It was a fantastic event and a pleasant surprise, and I guess I'll give it a little bit of a plug, just because I was just pleasantly surprised down at 50 West. I mean, the band was fantastic, the flow, the Irish dancers, the bagpipers. Kudos to Steve Watton, the Marymount police officer, and his bagpipe band. He's everywhere. There's probably like 6 of him all over on these St. Patrick's Day events, but he does a great job, and it all well received, but I was just pleasantly surprised. In fact, I thought I'd go down there because it was cold and stop in and pop out, but it was fun, and people really had a great time. So kudos to everybody involved, to you, Lauren, Melissa, Chandra, Brian, Susan, Caroline. Everybody had a hand in this. There's a lot that goes into it. So fantastic event. And again, we get nothing but compliments, and the more people we come, we saw a lot of people from Ridgewood in there, which is flattering. And to your point, the weather wasn't perfect. Thank God the sun shined a bit, but it was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect anything.
We get asked a lot, does this come from our tax money? And the answer is no. This comes from medical marijuana money, and this is how we, as a board, has chosen to do it for community events and to give back to the community and to celebrate and to try to have some fun. So encourage the community to come out if you can. Next event is Flying Pig Marathon on May 7th. And then our big event is in June. That is the
June
Margaritaville
3rd.
Taste of Columbia Township, June 3rd.
Yep.
Well, then also the bigger event is your tribute concert with.
Yes, and that's in I'm just trying to take it a month at a time, but yeah, the tribute band is in August. I want to say August 6th. It's that first Saturday in August. I'm not 100%
Well, the
sure.
reason why I say this, for people that go, they love them. You see the same people go, and the people that haven't been yet, I think you'd really enjoy them. It really is nice, walkable events to some parts of the community, and obviously we try to give some free goodies to some of the first Columbia Township residents to come. So, and treat them specially as VIPs, but it's just, they're fantastic, and they continue to do better. Everybody puts a lot of energy and passion into it, and I walk in and go, wow, this is pretty amazing. So they've really grown.
And we also try to help out local businesses in the township.
No
so
question.
Marymount Players were there. Art local theater off of Plainville. It's been there a very long time, and we're happy to try to help them. Any businesses that we can do that.
But to your point there, even the Slatteries that were all there, and some of their senior people there. I mean, the owners themselves were down at 50 West saying, my God, these are all your people. We wouldn't even have a crowd if it wasn't for you guys. And they were impressed because we brought in some people that would maybe have never been there. It would maybe come back now and say, wow, that was a lot of fun. So again, we touch a lot of different areas, and I know we touch some of these things a little deeper, but they're great events, and part of it just to build the brand of Columbia Township, build the quality of life, build the sense of community, and just make it a fun place and a proud place to be. And you know, Brian, I know you've talked about some of the other people from other communities come and really, I mean, kind of are impressed. So it's good stuff. So anyway, all right, any questions about what Ms. Lauren had to say?
Question, June 3rd
I'm
and
gonna pull-
August 6th.
I'm gonna pull up so I don't do this wrong for you.
June
The one
3rd?
in June it's so we always try to do the first Saturday of the month. June for the Margaritaville, it's June 3rd, and then in August it'll be August 5th.
August 5th.
And that is the Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson tribute band.
Michael Jackson / Janet Jackson tribute.
Sorry,
I want to make that clear.
sorry.
Michael Jackson's bigger than Janet Jackson. She doesn't quite get that.
50 West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the concerts at 50
knew that was
West, the one
coming.
in June is Margaritaville, so it'll be on Murray Avenue in front of the firehouse.
Michael Jackson and his little sister are coming, okay? All right. That's an inside joke. All right, anyway, now we go on to the Economic Development Coordinator Report, Mr. Montgomery's report. Do we have any questions about that report?
That will happen in April.
Okay, all right, then we move on to the police report with Lieutenant Neighbor.
This month, I really don't have a lot to tell you guys, except the fact that, as you know, I'm going to be stepping away for a couple months. I'm going to be leaving the beginning of April 1st. I'll be coming back June 8th. So for the community that's out here listening to me, Sergeant Robert Reed is going to be taking out for me, and she's going to be the temporary district commander, so she'll be able to answer any questions for the residents or for you guys if you need anything while I'm gone. It's already pre-planned. We've got a lot of the events that, for example, the Margaritaville and the Flying Pig that are coming up. We've got officers that are already scheduled to work for those events, and I pretty much have planned all that stuff already all the way out. The drug take back that we did for the Ohio Attorney General's office last month, and last month we had a very successful drug take back. There was about just under 100 pounds of prescription medications that were collected for that event. And again, we're going to do it again on April 22nd while I'm gone. Have that all planned to be at the substation. They have another drug take back for the DEA, which is the normal one, would be scheduled quarterly, so that'll be up there. As far as the rest are in your reports for the trustees here. And if I don't have any questions, I have nothing more to say this month. I'll see you back when I come back in the end of June.
We hate to say it, but with the police, no news is usually good news, okay? But we wish you, we hope you come back soon, so we'll miss you. Okay, that we move on to the Little Miami Joint Fire and Rescue District Report and also the Deer Park Silverton Fire District Report with Mr. Lamar, and I'll remind you the two chiefs from both the districts are here as well, so thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. First off, once again, commend the Little Miami Joint Fire District for being at the St. Patrick's Day event. The whole team was there. Chief and his family comes every event. Part of the community. They're so accessible. I think they actually enjoy the events. So I'm really happy to see them. So thank you for that. The only other thing I wanted to mention is we got the annual reports for both Little Miami Joint Fire District and Deer Park Silverton, and they're amazing. I love reading through them. They go through, messages from the chief and what their mission statement is, the org chart, finances, what trainings they did, education, all the statistics. And so those are public documents if anybody wants a copy of them. I will say, though, that the Deer Park Silverton, I'm giving them a slight edge because they included a picture of me in the annual report. And I'm joking about that. But
What are you doing in that picture?
Oh, I'm controlling the ladder. And that was at last year we had a community event day at Deer Park Silverton, and we'll have that again this year. I don't know if we have the date for that. We'll also have a
Who let
community
you
event.
touch the ladder?
Dante, Chief Meter, and Dante said that I
call
could go and
shenanigans.
control the ladder. And we'll have a community event day again this year at Little Miami and Deer Park Silverton. Those are amazing events. I encourage all the community to go to those.
And again, as you mentioned, thanks to both Chief Meter and Chief Sifke for doing a lot more community outreach. We do get a lot of compliments and more people see you guys, and I know part of our whole philosophy from all these trustees, everything is to really be out in the community with not just the trustees, the staff, Lauren, our resident services coordinator, everybody is to get to know everybody a little better, a little more user-friendly, approachable. So thanks for all the events you guys have done and just being user-friendly and being out there. I think that's a great thing. We don't just want to show up when elections or levies are up. We want everybody to get to know you. So great stuff. Okay, that we move on to the trustees' reports. Anything to report? We'll start with Susan.
Now, other than I attended your St. Patrick's Day. and-
Our St. Patrick's Day. Or not even mine, but anyway, our St. Patrick's Day.
Or St. Patrick's, and everyone there had a great time. And
Drop off some donuts.
my favorite is always the bagpipes. And they were there full force. They had a lady this year.
Yeah, the bagpipes are always a huge, majestic hit. But so are the Irish dancers, and the band was incredible too. And I know you raved about the band, and you guys delivered. So there you go. You sold the band, and You sold it hard, and it did not disappoint. Brian, you have anything else to add?
I don't think I have anything else to add.
Okay. Okay, and again, encourage everybody to come to the future community events, and it's fun stuff, and let's continue to build the brand of Columbia Township. It's all good. Okay, that, we move on to communications. Any questions about the communications? All right, and the good news, we got one resolution, and Lauren, I mean, bad as I am at this, you're better than me, so you got it.
I would say that. I would not say that. Okay, so there's only one resolution today, and Melissa gave a summary of this at February's meeting. MSD is planning to extend sanitary sewer in the Walton Creek area, and they need to buy easements in Muchmore Park, and this authorizes Melissa to sell the easements to MSD, and the construction should begin in 2024. It is Resolution 2309, and it is authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a contract for the purchase and sale of easements with the City of Cincinnati, the agent for the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County for the management of the Metropolitan Sewer District of Greater Cincinnati, dispensing with the second reading and declaring an emergency. I have read the title of the resolution. May I have a motion and a second to dispense with the second reading?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
May I have a motion to pass the resolution?
Sure.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. May I have a motion to invoke the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Hey, that's Susan.
All
Roll
right.
call.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. The resolution is now in effect.
Okay, then I'm going to go this one, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm going to make a motion that we approve the payments of bills, bank reconciliation, and financial reports. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
And can I get a motion to sign the minutes and resolutions?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
And any last final parting words before we go to the final adjourn motion? Okay, I make a motion that we adjourn. This is probably record time. You're legendary here, Lauren. You are moving up.
like 10
Okay, I make a motion that we adjourn. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Mr. Kubicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Do we get a discount on that one there?